Hey friends and peers and students and teachers, this is David Bedrick and we're beginning our 5th episode of UnShamed TV. My friend Simone said I should call it UnShamed Live. She said, UnShamed TV, you're dating yourself with the word TV, David. I guess I am. I'm 67 years old. Maybe that dates me. Welcome, friends. We're just taking a minute to start. Hey, Simply the Best, and Vanessa Pioni, Earth Delight, and Katie. Hey, Katie, and other friends are here. Shanks and Carly. Great. Happy for you to be here. This is a big thing to do this live. I tell my assistant, Kieran, who produces this show, and she vets people. She says, what do you want to know about the person? I say, don't tell me anything. Why? Because unshaming is a thing that lives in the moment. And if I think about a person and prepare, then my presence for what is shown to me and what needs to be seen diminishes. That's not for everybody, but maybe some of you understand that. Hey, Alex, we're going to get you on in a second. So it's always exciting to me to let things happen live because, well, there's many reasons, but when I first studied psychology 30 plus years ago, I never saw my teachers, professors do anything. They taught me in a classroom. They never sat in front of a client. They never sat in front of a client who cursed at them, who said, fuck you, who spit at them, who said, I hate you, I'm out of here. They talked about those ideas, but I didn't watch them. Now, later on in my clinical training at the Process Work Institute, I saw a lot of my teachers do that. It's a big thing. Let me see what you're talking about, because sometimes online I have arguments with people. This is what shame is. Someone says, no, it's not that way. This is what a wounded healer is. It's really this way. And we argue about ideas. And I'm always thinking, let me see you do it. I don't mean that as a challenge that you can't. Let me see what you're talking about as your theory. Show me. Sit in front of a person you don't know and show me how your ideas implement an intervention. Hey, Megs and Trina, show me what it looks like to do what you're thinking, because that's what I want to do. I want to show you this is what it looks like, and maybe I'll make a big mess and maybe I won't get it. Maybe tomorrow I'll realize something new, but the liveness has an authenticity and a truth factor that all the theories and speaking about it don't. So, hey friends, this is Unshamed Live or Unshamed TV. I'm doing them twice a month. For now, I'm racing a little bit, I realize, because of my energy is excited. Hey, Marisa, and other people, always willing. I'm seeing some names here. I always start with the lines from Galway Connell, the poet who wrote St. Francis and the Sow. And Galway Connell starts his poem by saying, the bud stands for all things. That's my life philosophy. That's my unshamed philosophy. That means everything can be looked at as a bud, something like a seed, something that with the right attitude, water, sunshine, love, compassion, whatever we call that, could flower and unfold. It's infolded. When somebody says, I have a wound, I think they're saying something's infolded and it needs to be looked at in an unshaming way, and then it kind of goes, whoop, and then not only does it heal in the sense of I'm releasing, I'm not held and locked in and imprisoned by those, but something beautiful shows up. So that's what we're about to do. I'm going to bring Alex in. Okay, let me see how I do that again. I have to remember how all this happens. Let's see, I do that, and then just give me a second, friend, so I can, Alex Grant, I'm inviting you, Alex. And now you can accept my invitation and show up. Hey, Alex.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm moving my camera around, so, because Instagram cuts people's heads off. It's a decapitation device, basically. So let me see if I can help that. I hope, friends, people can. And I'm going to sit back a little bit, Alex, so that I can see you and then you can see me as a body, because we're going to consider your body intelligence as part of what we might need to make contact with. But I don't know you, so let me say hello first. How are you doing?
I'm good. I adore you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, that makes it easy on me. When people have warm, loving feelings towards me, I always show up a little bit easier, Then I don't have to fight my way in. How are you nervous? Are you needing anything just for your own wellness, sitting here together, and we're in front of who knows how many people now, and will be other people. So I just want to tell everybody you have agreed to what's happening here, and that you're doing something live. It's obviously in public. It's not confidential what we're doing. It's not exactly a therapy session, meaning I'm not your therapist and I'm going to make sure that I'm helping you over the months and things like that. It's a one moment thing that we're doing as a gift also to people's learning. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling very nervous. I feel like I'm putting myself out there to be seen.
Yeah.
And at the same time, because I've learned from you and I have done this work before, I know how powerful it can be for other people to witness as well. And so with that, I'm excited. So I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Nervous is good. I like nervousness. You know why I like nervousness? Because it means there's energy around. And then if you're nervous, then it's okay that I'm nervous.
Are you nervous
if
too?
I'm nervous, then I'm always nervous. I'm a neurotic New York Jew. I don't know. I walk around like that.
I'm always a little nervous too, like excited energy, but nervous energy too.
Yeah. And I'm not meaning to everybody, I'm freaked out all the time. It's just things live inside of us that sometimes healing doesn't look like making things go away, but living into them. I live into my nervousness. That means it becomes energy, and it becomes passion, and it becomes genuineness, and it becomes vulnerability. Does that make sense? I can make it go away, then I'd be very confident. Hi, Alex, I'm your teacher today. All that stuff. But that's not the kind of teacher that I want to be.
I love that about you.
A nervous teacher. That means a person, who has conflicts with people that don't go away instantly and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Good to meet you. To see your face and your being, your hair and your shirt and your whatever. A person there. Tell me what's on your mind and heart. What can we hopefully, prayerfully help you with?
Yeah, so what's been alive for me lately is this sense of not feeling like I belong here. There's a desire to want to be somewhere else.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not here. I'm wishing for here to be different.
Got it. That's an amazing statement. That really touches me. I'm glad you said it because it slows me down. Now I'm more present with you than just saying hello to people. Belonging is so big. And the word here versus somewhere else. Right. What do you mean by here? I don't belong here.
Here, there's the way that I desire to feel is not being reflected back to me in my outside world.
Fascinating. And when you say the word, I don't belong here, do you mean in this community, sitting inside of yourself on this planet, being alive? I'm not trying to over dramatize that. That's important to me, because some people say I don't belong here and they mean here in a living body. That's okay if they feel that way. I'm not against that, but I want to know if that's the kind of things you think.
Yeah, when you said community, that landed really well. I have a hard time feeling like I belong in the city that I'm in. I feel like I'm always trying to leave it because somewhere else is better.
Oh, that's very important to me. You're trying to leave here so you can go to a place that you belong. And here could be in the city, and is here when you think about the word here, does it also mean other things? Like I don't belong, I don't know if I belong on this planet, I didn't belong in my family, I don't belong in my own skin, and any of those touch you?
It's almost like the conditioning that I have of what's good here, like what would be deemed as good here is not what actually fuels my soul. Like it's not the thing that makes me like light up and be happy. And so I'm like, well, if I'm not here and I'm somewhere else, maybe that part of me that wants to express can live, because it's hard for me to live here when there's all this stuff that's telling me what the right way to be is.
That's great. I want to ask you, and I know this can be a tender question because I don't know you and we're in public, but do you ever feel like you don't want to be alive in a serious way? Like I think I want to take my life. I don't want to have to ask that question because of the vulnerability, but my ethics say I have to, because sometimes when people say I don't want to be here, they're implying that, and then I want to make sure I know that about you.
Yeah, I
Is that
have not
also?
had those thoughts.
Okay,
No,
that's good.
I love my tight knit community, like my very
Mhm.
close friends. I love
Mhm.
very much.
Mhm.
But there's this feeling of stuckness here. It's like a
Yes.
density that I want to leave.
Yeah. But just to say to everybody and to you, Alex, um, I'm focusing on that word because it's such a big word, and I want to unshame. That means to do that, I have to know what it means. That's why I'm asking those questions. Some people mean here, they mean in their body. Some people mean here, meaning in their relationship. Some people mean on the planet. Some people mean I never belong here anywhere. So I'm just have to know that, and I have to bring up the issue of if you're would feel like you were ever in danger of taking your life, I'd want to know that because I want to care for you and I'm not thinking that's true, by the way. I just have to ask and then listen to your answer so I don't worry. Does that make sense? Because if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it
thinking
makes sense.
something, then I should make sure we check on those things so the field around us is clean. Otherwise, I'm kind of doubting things, worrying about things, and then I'm not really fully present with you. Yeah. Okay, you don't belong here. So I'm thinking out loud now. There's a place called here, and in that place, your soul doesn't feel well, you don't light up, you don't belong. And then you think about or imagine another place that you could leave and get to, and there you would be reflected. There you would feel lit up. There you would belong. And you're smiling and nodding, and that means to me, in terms of my unshaming, that the things I said made fit for her. I don't need to be right because I'm an unshamer. I just need to make sure I'm tracking you properly. So you're showing me, so I'm repeating things back. I'm trying to use your words, and then you're telling me, yes. So I think now I know that I'm in tune. We would say attuned with where you're coming from. Okay, there's two things that we need to know. One, what your experience is of being here is really like. You've told me some. And then probably what your experience would be like in this other place. Those are the two
Yeah.
things that I don't know enough about. And in the unshaming world, I have to say, Alex is having experiences. I can't project or theorize about them. I could theorize when I write my fourth book, I'm doing that. But now I need to find out what it's like being you. So I would probably start with what it's like being you here. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great.
So
Just getting
being
your,
here,
uh-huh. Go ahead. You're already going right in. That's great.
yeah, it's very alive right now. I can feel it. Being here feels heavy, and like I feel heavy in my seat. I feel slow, like my body feels really slow.
Great.
And
You're
I
doing great
feel
with it.
there's like a contraction in my chest, but it feels tight. Like it feels like it's tightening in, like it's closing, but it's also tightening.
It's closing in and tightening. And
Yeah.
is that a feeling that you live in on a, when you say I'm here, it feels like this a lot, that's my regular experience? Would you say that's a,
Yeah, I'd say that yeah, I feel that on a regular basis throughout the day at different times.
that's very important to me.
Yeah.
I'm asking you that, Alex. I'm saying this to everybody because if that's an experience that's regularly you're having, it may be more known to you, and it might not need as much of our focus as the other one. So the other one being what it's like to be this other place and want to leave that place. But let's take another little bit at least with this experience, because we're learning what here feels like and experiences like, and then what this other place would be like. Where do you want to leave? I'm learning where she wants to leave. And I'm not thinking that it's a good or bad thing to want to leave, or that the experience is good or bad. I'm just thinking that's a place. Yeah. And when you were feeling the heaviness in your feet and the
In my
slowness,
seat.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and the slowness, your eyes are closed, good. That means you're staying inside yourself. That's great. Stay inside your own experience. Slow, something's moving slow, heavy, and there's a contractingness. And if you were to let your body begin to do that contracting, as if your whole body were going to show you, it's like this is what's happening to me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Slowly allow your body to do that curling in, contracting thing that you were showing me, if you can.
I feel like I want to go into like fetal position.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, great, meaning great that I know, understand. Yes, great
Yeah.
feedback. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Her hands are starting to do that. That means her body is saying yes to what she's saying to me too. She closes her eyes, her head going over. I'm just talking about your stay in your experience. Her head is moving over to the left. Why am I saying all that? Because I'm unshaming. I'm interested in her, not anything. I'm not going to interpret it. I just want her to feel and experience that. And if you could go even more fetal, even if you can't fully do it in front of us right at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, imagine you could even go more. Mm-hmm. Slowly. Yeah. Uh-huh. I heard that breath. The head went over. Uh-huh. To the left. It goes further. If it could go even further, maybe it can't physically. What would happen if your body kept going? If nothing stopped it? The head was going to the left, it would keep going. The hands would go. You would start leaning over. Let's say nothing was holding you up over there. What would happen?
I just lay here and fall asleep.
Great. That's great. I'm learning. We're now unfolding, friends. We're unfolding the bud of here. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, close your eyes and stay there. I know you're not going to fall asleep at the moment, Alex, but imagine that you were just about to fall asleep. I know that's crazy given we're in the middle of something. But imagine that the lights go off. Good night, Alex. We're taking a nap. And then you're just about to drift off. Some part of you is still present here, I understand. Imagine even your thoughts and everything could disappear, because that's what happens when people sleep. Mm-hmm. Imagine you could fall asleep. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Oh, sleeping. Sleeping. Just hang out there. What's it like? You don't have to answer. I'm thinking out loud. What's it like to be sleeping in Alex's world? Sleeping versus being awake. You could be awake being here, but your body says, I don't want to be awake being here. I want to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. What's it like, Alex, being asleep, especially what's so good about it?
Mm.
Uh,
The the tightness in my chest is dissipating.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
And I feel the heaviness that I feel feels like I'm being supported, like in a nest.
Gorgeous. Being asleep means the tightness goes away and the heaviness goes away and you feel supported like in a nest. Allow that feeling of being supported, especially that. Why, friends? Because we're going step by step and we went from one thing to heaviness to the leaning over to the fetal to sleeping, and now the nest is next. That's where she's taking me. Go ahead and curl up in that nest. A being in a nest. What kind of being are you in that nest?
I just had an image of a bird.
I saw a bird too. I didn't want to say that because I don't want to put words. And is it a baby bird or is it a mama bird or a papa bird or?
Yeah, my first instinct was a baby bird.
Uh-huh. A baby bird.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Go ahead and explore the baby bird body and feathers and mouth. Allow yourself to enter like a shamanic shape-shifting. I'm a baby bird. My feathers, my beak. Can you fly yet or not yet?
I'm feeling excited to fly.
You're feeling excited?
Mm-hmm.
Is it time or do you need to be nested for a little longer?
Yeah,
No
it's not
pressure.
time yet. I need to be
It's not
nested a
time.
little longer.
I'm thinking that. That's very important to me, Alex. I'm saying to everybody, because there's somebody who wants to leave and somebody who wants to fly that has to be honored. But I don't want to push the baby bird out of the nest. If it says nesting is next step, that makes sense. Flying will come when the bird is ready. We want to make sure every step of her process is unshamed. So she doesn't think, oh, I'm in the nest, I have to be able to fly soon. Then the shame enters for the nesting. The nesting is perfect. Flying is perfect. And those steps in those directions, one at a time. Now I'm heavy and tight and slow and contracted. Now I let myself drift away from here and I go into a sleep world. And in that sleep world, something supports me, like a young bird that's not ready to fly yet and is supported. Feeling supported is a huge experience. That's a huge experience.
When you
Just stay
repeated
there.
that back, when you said
Yep.
that back to me, I just noticed that my breath, like I just feel so much calmer in my body, and my breath is coming in with a lot more ease.
Beautiful. Alice is focusing on her her breath. Sorry about that. Alice is focusing on her breath. So I'm taking that to mean that that's the right thing because unshaming says she knows. So she says, David, the breath is important. So I follow that. Go ahead and focus on the breath, the ease of the breath. Imagine that breath could get even easier. So easy. The whole bird being supported by the nest. Breathing easily, supported by the nest. Feeling that support, something's got you. And says, you can stay here for a little while until the next step happens. You're supported. You don't have to go anywhere, Alex. You probably will. But first, unshaming the nest. You don't have to move a wing. Notice what it's like to feel this level of support. Where you don't have to do anything, be anything, just a baby bird who's not ready to fly. That's a very primal experience, Alex, and everybody. That's why I'm focusing on it. We could spend a lot of time on that kind of experience, because some people don't have that experience of I'm held and something's got me like that. That's a huge experience. We could spend a lot of time on that. A lot of us don't have much of that. Yeah. What else do you notice when you let yourself be more and more supported, Alex? What happens if you let yourself go all the way? Okay, support all of me. I'm letting it all go.
I feel really rested, like not partially rested, or like I tried to rest, or I like did resting, but like I'm, like every part of me just feels like it's getting what it needs.
Every part of you is getting what it needs. Is that how you said that?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Being fed, I used that word, you didn't. Every part of you getting what it needs. Your feet getting what it needs. Your hands and your arms and your feelings and all the difficulties and struggles in life. All of you is getting what it needs. Something is able to give you that. That something lives inside of you or outside of you, but it's available to you. Because all you need to do is go to sleep. Literally. Just spending a little bit more time here, friends, before we move, or if we move. It looks really good what you're doing and the state that you're in. Stay there a little longer. I'm saying that because she looks so deeply into that. I can tell that something in her is absorbing, needing, hungry for. Those are my words for that experience. Yeah. We got you. You can just rest. Breathe easily. And every part of you is going to get what it needs. And stay there, Alex, and I'm going to present some things, but you stay there the best you can.
Okay.
And I want to present to you questions that normal Alex has. Yeah, there you go. Normal Alex says, I don't feel like I belong here and I belong somewhere else. If I were her, could you talk to me a little bit? Should I leave? I don't know. I don't feel the reflection that I want to. Can you give me your wisdom, dear sleeping baby bird?
Yeah, she'd say, don't worry, you're going to go to all the places that you want to go. You're going to
I
see all the
will.
things. Yes.
I will. How long will I have to suffer feeling like I don't belong? Stay there. Don't come out. What does this sleeping one say?
She said you belong everywhere.
I do? Oh, that's deep. I didn't know that. My whole body gets chills. I belong everywhere? Tell me more about that. That's a deep idea that I'm not in touch with. That's like a spiritual idea. I belong everywhere? What do you mean? Stay in the sleeping one. She may have weird answers. It's okay. Yeah.
She's saying that I'm like hard and finding it hard to put words to it.
Yes.
But she's saying that, yeah, she's saying that like every part, it's like what I'm afraid to leave is what I'm going to, and what I'm going to is what I'm afraid to leave.
Wow.
And it's all the same thing.
Wow. Stay there, Alex, if you want. Alex, do you know how deep your spiritual life is? You may. I'm just genuinely asking.
Well, I think I question it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel it.
It's a very deep spiritual thing. I can see why I was imagining life and death, because there's an idea that might want to die.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Dying doesn't mean literally. That means it's not sufficient for the spiritual depth of the woman I'm talking to, who knows she belongs everywhere. She doesn't have an answer of go here, go there. That's fine. You may go places. That's fine. But she's offering a deeper answer to the belonging question. And you answer me like a Zen master would. Well, you're here, but you're not there, but you leave there. These are like Zen answers you're giving me. Mm-hmm. That's a spiritual belonging that your soul is hungry for. That's where it wants to flower into. Mm-hmm. That's something that people integrate over many years. You don't have to carry it with you all the time, but it's available to you. I belong everywhere. There is no here. There's only everywhere, and that's where you belong. If you try to belong in one place, your soul won't feel like it fits, because it's not one place. Mm-hmm. It's a deeper experience. I didn't have any idea you were going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people imagine going into sleep. When I unshame process, they go into sleep. And sleep doesn't mean only resting. I need to sleep more. I'm tired. It means I'm leaving this normal world, the waking world, and I'm going into another world. And if you, that other world, has spiritual qualities, I belong everywhere. There's not a here. Here is where I would leave, and I would leave where I'm here. These are like koan answers. Mm-hmm. It happens in your dreaming mind. Your sleeping mind has an answer. The heaviness and the contraction pulls you into that place. Mm-hmm. And then it says, be the baby bird for now, and in another moment it'll fly, and in another moment it'll be a mama bird feeding a baby bird, and another moment it'll be a nest, and you can go in and out of any of those. Mm-hmm. But the idea of leaving to get somewhere is fine. Nothing wrong with it. No shame in that. Get up and leave wherever you want. A room, a person, a relationship, a city, a community. But that's not as deep as what you're looking for. It's just one good thing to do. You're looking for belonging everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's a special gift in that not belonging. Someone's not going to be satisfied with belonging in a special community for more than a moment, because she dreams of something much vaster. Yeah. I'm just explaining to you, Alex, for your conscious mind, when you wake up, you can watch the video, and for other people. And you look so good in that place, like you could stay there forever, and a part of you should live. A part of you should live there. You never have to come out. One part will get up and do things and do dishes and call friends and stuff, and another part lives here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. We're going to slowly enter the normalish world. I will. You don't have to. But while you're there, is there anything else you want to ask or that you need in the moment? There's always a next step that we could always take. So we always have to stop at one spot and not take 10 more steps or one more step. But in this place, Alex, is there anything else you need or want to say or ask?
It feels complete for now.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
It's complete for now. That means there's other steps, but it's not this step. And if we try to get her to another step, then we begin to slowly shame the nest and the support. And I belong everywhere, not somewhere. Does that make sense to everybody and to Alex? That will happen on its own. Nature will do that next step when it's ready. But right now, the system says, I'm connecting to this belonging everywhere thing. That's an amazingly deep experience. That's what's right for now. Hmm. How can you anchor this experience for yourself? How can you remember this is what it felt like? Is there some part of your body that can help you? Some people wear a piece of jewelry or put up a picture somewhere that reminds them
Mm.
of this. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by trees where I am, which is always a nice reminder of the birds, but I
Mm.
feel like the reminder that I'm going to leave with is when I have the instinct to leave locations, to just like tune into my heart, which is just feeling this like evolution of change that I'm in.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I want to say one more thing to you,
Mm-hmm.
Alex, and to everybody. What about this other place? We went into the
Mm-hmm.
unshaming of here, but you said there's somewhere else. What about that? And the reason why we never had to go into that in the moment is because she went somewhere else. Mhm. She left here. That's
Mm-hmm.
what sleeping meant in this scene. Sleeping meant I leaving this world and I went to another place. And it's not a particular place, it's a belonging everywhere experience. Just wanted to say that. So both of those things happened, but it naturally happened. And it's very important in the unshaming world for things to happen naturally, because if we say, let me get you there by bypassing the experiences, then you can't fully trust yourself. But now it's like, oh, I do this. Oh, I'm heavy. Oh, I feel contracted. Oh, my feet are heavy. Nothing wrong with that. That takes me into this. Oh, if I keep on going that, then I'm curled over. Nothing wrong with that. Then I'll feel the nest. Oh, should I get going? Nothing wrong with that, because then I realize I'm everywhere. So that the whole process has a flow and a trust in it. You can trust all of those experiences are meant to take you somewhere or take you everywhere in this case. Yeah.
Yeah, when you said contraction just now, the image that I got was like a body, like my body like resting into something so heavily, but then like the bottom disappears and I'm just soaring. So it's like leaning into it is the freedom
Oh,
to soar.
that's great. I didn't see that. Thank you for saying it. So now you just showed me the next step. The next step is
Oh,
not growing wings and flapping. That could have been, you could have said, my wings are coming, I'm going to jump. And I think, great, go. But she doesn't say that. She says, with the way nature does it in the unshamed world, she lets go so deeply that pretty soon there's nothing underneath her, and the soaring happens by itself. It's an
yeah. Yeah.
effortlessness. It's not a doing experience. It's not a muscle experience. That would be great if you said, oh, I feel like a strong eagle wings. I'd say, great, but that's a different experience. This is the
Yeah.
something underneath you that carries you. Mm-hmm. The
Yeah,
sense of the
that landed. It's like it's not a doing experience. That
yeah,
really landed because I think my tendency is the doing.
yeah.
And
I bet.
perhaps the message there, yeah, perhaps the message there is to be in the is to be
Is
in the
to be.
being.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why it's partly a spiritual process. Is some people you can say, "Oh, you need to work on this, do this, set more boundaries." Great, but that's not your process. Your process is not about doing anything. It's about a dropping out. That's why I'm using the word dying, not in the literal. It means a drop. That means sleeping. Go to sleep. What happens in sleep? I don't do anything. What happens? A lot of stuff happens, but all by itself. Whole worlds happen when you're going to sleep. But you don't, but you, the conscious identity, ego, whatever we call it, doesn't do it. Something else does it. So your system wants to settle into something else. Something else makes this whole thing happen. The bird, the soaring, the belonging all happens without your effort. In fact, you can't do it. It's a grace thing. It's a spiritual. That's why I'm saying spiritual. What we're talking about today is not a psychological process. You don't need psychology. I really mean that. And I love psychology. You should know that. Everybody knows that. I love psychology. Like, oh, this is not psychology. It's a spiritual thing. It's an entering a different world of being held by something that's otherworldly, trees or spirit or whatever is holding you, winds. and things like that. The deep letting go, belonging everywhere. Those are profound experiences that aren't psychological work. You can't do psychological work and get you there. Your system doesn't want psychology. Psychology means things that you work on and do and pick up and integrate and trauma and release. That's not what your process wants at the moment. Those are great things, but that's not your process. Doesn't say those things. Yeah, it says go to sleep. Right?
Yeah.
There's lots of fairy tales and myths about that, where you probably know them. There's so many where a person has to do an activity and they fall asleep, and in their sleep, the birds put all the peas together, or the elves come and they build the shoes, or the fish go down and they collect with it. There's always things like that, and that means that the whole identity has to drop. The sense of this is who I am, this is what I do goes away, and other aspects of the person that are not unique, they're other things. They happen in the sleep. That means I'm not doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like this letting go of the way I always used to do things, which is like doing and working and going and yeah, that experience was just very like the story was just very much about, and the feeling just about soaring and being. It was really helpful. Yeah, thank you.
If you hang out on your own and this feels right, and I'm not saying it should, by the way, or talking to a friend, talk to somebody about the sense of being deeply held and supported in your early life, because that would be the story in there that we won't have time to go into. But that sense, some people don't have as much of that. I felt like something got me. You got me. If I fall, something caught me. That's a profound experience. Some people have that, and it's a blessing, and some people don't, and it's a blessing. Why is it a blessing not to have that? Because then you dream of being held by something beyond the person, beyond the parent, by something universal and spiritual. That's a deeper thing. I'm not saying both are good. If you get held by somebody and you're growing up, that's great. But if you don't, something different wants to happen. So you see, that's a drag, and you can be upset about the way people treat you and all that. But then something else wants to grow in that story. Yeah. Alex, how lucky are we, and how fortunate am I to sit with you, and then for other people to get to watch and participate, and for you to share your intimacy, your deep process, and your mystery with the world is a huge gift. I mean that, and gifts are meant to be given back. So people who get that, if you got a gift, you got to give something to someone. It doesn't have to be to me or Alex. It could be to someone else, because gifts don't want to be saved. They want to be expanded and given out in that way. Yeah. So thank you for giving the gift of you. Yeah.
Thank you. So every time I work with you, I get so many insights. So thank you so much for sharing and for doing this and for giving me the opportunity in this space.
Thank you. Many people will watch this and think, I probably need to go to sleep too. That means drop, not just literal sleep and rest because I'm tired, but to drop out and let something else do it, so other people will connect with that. It doesn't belong only to you, what you're talking about. Many of us need new paradigms for how to live, especially those of us who work really hard on ourselves, right? Then some of us who do that, who work on our traumas and we're diligent and we're great, yes to all that, and then there's something else. So many of us need the message that you were offering. Leaving is being here, but you're being here, but you're leaving. That's great Zen stuff that you were talking. It was great.
Thank you so much.
Lots of love, Alice. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you can, one gift I would love if you can share and tell people about UnShamed Live, UnShamed TV. It would be really great. All 4 episodes are available. Bye, everybody.